When it comes to deck boxes for Magic the Gathering and other trading card games, there's a vast array of choices. So much so that my first deck box video looked only at the deck boxes offered by Ultra Pro. This video will compare and contrast the deck boxes available from other companies, specifically Legion, Dragon Shield, Monster, Max Protection, and Fantasy Flight. With such a wide variety, some are better than others, while a few should be avoided entirely. Let's take a look. Dragon Shield boxes come in two sizes, a 4-compartment with removable dividers, and a simple single-sized box. Basic acrylic boxes, such as the one offered by Dragon Shield, have been around for a long time, and are manufactured by a lot of other companies, including Ultra Pro. Dragon Shields come in a multitude of colors. In addition to the green here, they come in just about every color that their sleeves are offered in. The box can hold a little over 100 sleeved cards, which means it can be used for commander decks. I like the color choices and the neat compact storage these offer, but to be perfectly honest, it is just a basic acrylic box. If you do have a lot of commander decks, then you might find the color choices, along with the fact that you can see your commander through the transparent plastic, of greater value than other deck boxes. The plastic feels ever so slightly less sturdy than the Ultra Pro acrylic boxes. Price is on average about $5. Let's look at the 4-compartment. I was very surprised how much I liked the 4-compartment box. The top can be slightly tricky to snap on and off, but that's a good thing because it means it stays secure when closed. The 2 side dividers come out, but strangely, not the middle divider. With the side dividers out, this can hold 2 double-sleeved commander decks with room for a lot of extra tokens or dice, which is pretty nifty. It can be a little awkward sliding the dividers in and out. With the dividers in, it can hold 4 sleeved 75-card decks. In other words, a sleeved 60-card deck plus 15-card sideboard in each compartment. Keep in mind these are single-sleeved decks. If you were to try and put your double-sleeved deck in here, there would not be room for a sideboard. Overall, you can put slightly over 300 sleeved cards in these. The lid stays on tight. I am really shaking hard here, and it didn't even budge. It's very secure. Compare the size of these to that of a Fat Pack box. The Dragon Shield 4-compartment holds more cards, almost another deck's worth. I'd give the 4-compartment a grade of B, with the condition that it might be graded slightly higher or slightly lower, depending upon your needs. Let's move on to the Legion iconic mana symbol boxes. So, the first question that arises is, isn't a basic deck box like this just a box? How can it be noticeably different than the Max Protection top-loading box, or the Ultra Pro? Well, there are several differences that make the Legion box stand out above the other brands. First off, I don't usually like to emphasize how things look as a selling point, as I value function over form, but I am very much a fan of the iconic mana symbol style. That's a personal preference, of course, but I do tire of the same 5 planeswalkers on 90% of everything Ultra Pro puts out. The box has a Velcro seal, and price is comparable to Ultra Pro at about $4. Ultimately, here's why I'd recommend the Legion over the other 2 brands. It is just big enough to hold a sleeved commander deck, or 100 cards. I want to stress that this is a tight fit, but not too tight that there's excessive pressure on the cards. In fact, I can still slide in the divider. There would be no room for additional tokens or cards, however. What about the Max Protection box? If you've watched my other videos, you know I have a lot of problems with Max Protection brand products, to say the least, but I think their deck boxes are okay. Keep in mind this is not a glowing endorsement. While illustrations are available, I like the transparent style and the Velcro seal. They are typically the least expensive boxes available, often half the price of Legion and Ultra Pro, which is also a plus. These max protection boxes won't hold a commander deck, but they will hold a double-sleeved 60-card deck with sideboard, so that's something. Again, it will be a tight fit. Perhaps in response to the Legion and Max Protection deck boxes, Ultra Pro has redesigned their standard top loader to be bigger. I am not a fan of this new style. The side flaps make for an awkward feel when opening and retrieving your cards, and it doesn't quite close all the way. It won't hold a commander deck either, and if you try and put a double-sleeved 60-card deck in with sideboard, then there's going to be excessive pressure on the deck and the box, so you may want to just stick to a single-sleeved deck, like I do here. Considering how close these boxes are in price, I'd never buy either Max Protection or Ultra Pro if Legion were available, and I'd never buy Ultra Pro if Max Protection were available. Keep in mind, I am referring only to these top-loader basic deck boxes. In my first deck box video, you can see that I give many Ultra Pro deck boxes glowing reviews. Monster Protectors makes a double deck box with a magnetic clasp. It's an interesting design, but unfortunately, there are a lot of problems with this deck box. Each of the double compartments comes out, perhaps to make loading and unloading your cards easier. I still had a lot of trouble sliding my cards in and out, as they tend to catch on the back of the compartment. Each compartment holds exactly 75 single-sleeved cards, with no room for a divider. This by itself is very disappointing, as I can't even put in a double-sleeved deck. I did like the side-by-side design, and thought it might possibly be appropriate for an event such as a pre-release, where you could use one compartment for your deck and the other for the rest of the cards in your pool. But then, why would you use this instead of the far superior Ultra Pro Pro Duel, which again costs more or less the same? The magnetic latch won't stay shut even with a little shake. And yes, that's a very slight shake I am giving it. As I was playing around with the case, I heard a cracking noise. It turns out the magnetic latch doesn't have a very strong glue. Again, a slight pull from me, and the magnetic latch peeled right off. It had started to do this on its own, and needed very little help from me. This ultimately makes the Monster Protectors box something that I can't recommend. I give it a solid D grade. Fantasy Flight offers a tower with a bottom compartment for dice and tokens. The tower will easily hold a double-sleeved 60-card deck plus 15-card sideboard, but it can't hold a commander deck. This is a sharp contrast to the Ultra Pro Satin Tower, which can hold up to a double-sleeved 100-card commander deck. How does the Fantasy Flight Tower compare in terms of overall quality? Not too well, I'm afraid. The tower has this weird design with a front panel that can hold a piece of paper. My guess is that this is so you can label your deck box, but the plastic front falls off easily and won't stay snapped on. Try as I might, I couldn't get it to stay on. Getting your cards in and out is not the easiest experience, as you have to drop them in and dump them out. Again, the Ultra Pro Tower is a superior design in this regard, and especially in terms of overall capacity. The bottom compartment falls off easily. I cannot stress how little pressure it takes for the bottom compartment to fall off. Sometimes it fell off without me even touching it. Most times, in fact. I found this aspect to be most frustrating. The compartment is also rather small and cannot hold much. Finally, although it shouldn't matter, I do have to add how ugly this thing is. The box has very industrial looking grooves and snaps, whereas the Ultra Pro Satin Tower has a smooth, sleek look. Again, contrasted to the Ultra Pro Satin Tower, whose bottom compartment holds a lot more and also stays firmly clasped onto the main body. There's just no reason to get the Fantasy Flight Tower instead of the Ultra Pro Satin Tower. Not only would I recommend the Ultra Pro Satin Tower over the Fantasy Flight Tower, but I give the Fantasy Flight Tower a grade of D-. Minus. If it wasn't so inexpensive, I'd fail it outright. As always, selecting trading card accessories is going to be a matter of personal need and taste. What works for some might not work for others. I hope this video has been of some help to you. More videos are coming soon, so don't forget to subscribe and check out my other videos and reviews. And remember, whenever buying deck boxes or card singles, try and spend that money at your local game store whenever possible. You're investing in your Magic community.